Recent public appearances and statements by former President Donald Trump have raised serious questions about his cognitive health, with numerous incidents suggesting a troubling decline in mental acuity. From erratic behavior at high profile events to incoherent remarks and physical instability, these episodes have sparked widespread discussion about whether Trump is fit to lead. This article examines the mounting evidence of his cognitive challenges, drawing on specific examples and expert opinions, while underscoring the implications for national leadership and public safety. Mounting evidence of cognitive decline over the past several years, observers have noted a series of alarming behaviors from Donald Trump that point to potential cognitive impairment. These incidents, which have been widely documented, include difficulties with basic motor functions, incoherent speech patterns, and a detachment from reality that raises red flags about his mental state. Below, we explore key examples that highlight these concerns, providing a detailed analysis of each. Physical instability. The Alaska incident. One of the most striking examples of Trump's potential cognitive decline occurred during a highly publicized meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. During this event, Trump was observed struggling to walk in a straight line on a red carpet laid out for the occasion. Video footage captured him zigzagging noticeably, veering left and right in a manner that appeared uncoordinated and unsteady. While some might dismiss this as a minor misstep, experts note that difficulty maintaining balance and walking in a straight line can be a hallmark symptom of neurological conditions, including dementia. This is not to definitively diagnose Trump, but the behavior aligns with symptoms associated with cognitive decline, particularly in older individuals. This incident was not an isolated one. Reports indicate that Trump has exhibited similar physical instability on multiple occasions, suggesting a pattern that warrants closer scrutiny. For instance, his posture often includes a noticeable lean or arch, which some medical professionals associate with neurological issues affecting motor control. These physical signs, when coupled with other behavioral anomalies, paint a concerning picture of Trump's overall health. Incoherence and word-finding difficulties. Trump's public speeches and press conferences have increasingly been marked by verbal missteps, including slurring words, struggling to find the right terms, and veering into incoherent tangents. During a press conference prior to the Alaska meeting, Trump repeatedly referred to Alaska as Russia, a geographical error that he made multiple times in quick succession. Such mistakes go beyond simple slips of the tongue and suggest a deeper issue with cognitive processing. Dr. David Shiner, a world-renowned physician and former doctor to President Barack Obama, has publicly expressed concern about Trump's word-finding difficulties, noting that they could indicate neurological issues, such as small strokes or other forms of cognitive impairment. Another example of Trump's verbal challenges came during a speech where he fixated on the word grass, repeating it 8 times in 90 seconds while discussing plans to renovate parks in Washington, D.C. He described the grass as tired and exhausted, comparing its lifetime to that of a human's, and emphasizing his expertise in grass due to his ownership of golf courses. This bizarre tangent, delivered with intense focus, underscores a tendency to fixate on irrelevant details, a behavior often associated with frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative condition that affects cognitive function. Trump's speeches have also been characterized by nonsensical references and fragmented sentences. For instance, he has spoken about fictional scenarios, such as choosing between being attacked by a shark or electrocuted, stating, "I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shore." Such remarks, detached from any relevant context, suggest a difficulty in maintaining coherent thought processes. Similarly, during a speech about the late golfer Arnold Palmer, Trump made inappropriate comments about Palmer's physical attributes, recounting a story about other golfers' reactions to seeing Palmer in the shower. These remarks, delivered in a public setting, were not only irrelevant, but also deeply inappropriate, raising questions about Trump's judgment and mental clarity. Bizarre behavior and detachment from reality. Trump's behavior has grown increasingly erratic, with several incidents pointing to a detachment from reality that is difficult to ignore. One particularly disturbing episode occurred when Trump was seen on the roof of the White House, claiming he was overseeing the construction of nuclear weapons. When questioned by the press, he responded vaguely about building nukes and later claimed that the White House and its grounds were his money and that he had personally financed them. These statements are not only factually inaccurate, but also reflect a troubling inability to distinguish between personal ownership and public property. In another incident, Trump struggled to open a small black box at a public event, fumbling with it in a way that appeared to perplex him. This difficulty with a simple task, coupled with his fixation on irrelevant details, such as repeatedly mentioning grass or MAGA hats, suggests a decline in executive function, which is critical for problem-solving and decision-making. Perhaps most alarming is Trump's repeated attempts to access the White House roof, even after being advised against it by the Secret Service. Reports from the White House press pool indicate that Trump has tried to go to the roof on multiple occasions, with security personnel stationed to prevent him from doing so. This fixation on the roof, combined with his earlier claims about building nuclear weapons there, points to a pattern of irrational behavior that could have serious implications for national security if he were in a position of power. Historical context. Medical records and past incidents. Concerns about Trump's cognitive health are not new. During his first administration, Trump was rushed to Walter Reed Medical Center, prompting speculation about a serious medical event, such as a stroke. While Trump denied these claims, Dr. Shiner and other medical experts noted that his symptoms at the time, slurred speech, difficulty finding words, and physical instability, were consistent with those of someone who may have experienced neurological event. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, Trump's former physician and now a Republican congressman, dismissed these concerns, but his denials were seen by some as an attempt to downplay the issue rather than address it transparently. Trump's medical records have also been a source of controversy. Unlike most presidential candidates, Trump has never released comprehensive medical reports. The documents he has made public, including one from his late physician Dr. Harold Bornstein, appear to have been heavily influenced or even dictated by Trump himself. Bornstein admitted before his passing that Trump dictated the contents of a 2015 medical report, which included exaggerated claims about his strength and health. A more recent report claimed Trump was in great health, as evidenced by his golf championships, a statement that lacks medical credibility and further undermines the legitimacy of his health disclosures. The absence of transparent medical records is particularly concerning given Trump's history of boasting about acing cognitive tests, such as the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, MoCA. In public remarks, he has described the test as difficult, citing examples like identifying animals, for example, giraffe, tiger, or whale, and performing complex calculations. However, the MoCA is a basic screening tool designed to detect mild cognitive impairment, not a rigorous measure of intellectual ability. Trump's fixation on his test performance, coupled with his refusal to release detailed medical records, raises questions about whether he is concealing more serious health issues. Expert opinions and neurological concerns. Medical experts have increasingly weighed in on Trump's behavior, with many suggesting that his symptoms are consistent with neurological conditions, such as frontotemporal dementia or small strokes. Frontotemporal dementia, in particular, is characterized by symptoms that align closely with Trump's behavior, including impaired motor function, difficulty with language, and a tendency to mix fiction with reality. For example, Trump's references to fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter as wonderful, or his confusion of oranges with origins during discussions about the Mueller investigation point to a cognitive disconnect that is difficult to explain otherwise. Dr. Shiner, in analyzing Trump's word-finding difficulties, has emphasized that these are not mere slips of the tongue, but rather signs of a deeper neurological issue. He has called for Trump to undergo a comprehensive neurological evaluation, including an MRI, to rule out conditions like small strokes. While Trump's supporters may dismiss these concerns as politically motivated, the consistency of these symptoms across multiple contexts suggests that they cannot be ignored. Political implications. A national concern. The implications of Trump's apparent cognitive decline extend far beyond his personal health. As a former president and potential future candidate, his ability to make sound decisions and lead effectively is a matter of national importance. The erratic behavior, incoherent statements, and physical instability documented in recent years raise serious questions about his fitness for leadership. For instance, during a phone call with California Governor Gavin Newsom, Trump reportedly fixated on trivial matters like his MAGA hats and debate performance rather than addressing critical issues like the deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles. Newsom described the conversation as alarming, noting that Trump's focus on personal branding and nicknames was wildly inappropriate given the gravity of the situation. Moreover, Trump's attempts to rewrite history and censor factual information, as noted by Newsom, point to a broader pattern of behavior that undermines public trust. His references to nationalizing businesses and extracting from companies like NVIDIA suggest a misunderstanding of economic policy and a tendency toward authoritarian rhetoric. These actions, combined with his cognitive challenges, paint a picture of a leader who is increasingly detached from reality and unfit to handle the complexities of governance. Broader context. Media and public perception. The media's role in covering Trump's cognitive issues has been mixed. While some outlets have highlighted his erratic behavior, others have downplayed or normalized it, treating his gaffes as comedic rather than concerning. For example, when Trump spoke about building nuclear weapons on the White House roof, some reporters laughed it off, but such incidents should not be dismissed lightly. The removal of Trump's speech transcripts from the White House website further complicates efforts to analyze his cognitive state, as it obscures the extent of his verbal incoherence. This lack of transparency only heightens the need for independent scrutiny of his behavior. Public perception of Trump's health is also shaped by his own narrative. By framing himself as a strong, infallible leader who aces cognitive tests, Trump seeks to deflect concerns about his mental acuity. However, the growing body of evidence ranging from video footage to expert analyses undermines this narrative and calls for a more serious discussion about his fitness for leadership.